Hello again, everybody. Thank you once again for joining us and not leaving. I'm realizing that when we started, I did not introduce myself. And since this is an interview setting, I would like to introduce myself. So, my name is Siphokazi Makama, and I am a child of God. And today I have an honor of being on Wisdom Podcast. Thank you so much. I have been wanting to be on this podcast, so thank God. Yes, but today I also have the greatest honor of interviewing Ulungisile on his new book, The Inauguration of a God, Learning How to God Like God. I love it. And it's such a bold title. And I'm sure that when people read it, when people are going to read it, they're going to feel all sorts of things. They're going to feel all sorts of things. And I love your bravery for that. So, welcome to your own podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank,
Thank you so
don't they
much.
give me a round of applause on my own podcast?
Yes.
I'm asking. I was asking.
Yes, yes. Um, yeah, can we get started?
It's cool. We can
All
get it.
right. So I was very nervous when I got a call from you and you were asking me to do this. But I ended up being, excited because of the kind of conversations that you and I have. And when I started reading your book, I could not believe it. And not because, I don't think you're capable, but because the way that you communicated the ideas and doctrine in the book is quite impressive. Yeah. And one of the first things that I noted down as I was preparing for this talk was I wrote that the very first thing he did was point us to God, as if to say, if you can see him, then you can see yourself too. I love that. And I love that's the first thing that you did in the book. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Is it fine if I actually tell you an interesting story?
Mm-hmm.
So, I for those of you who don't know, when I went to university, I studied politics, philosophy, and economics in my undergrad, and then for my honors, I did philosophy. But while I was studying philosophy, I was also studying from the University of YouTube apologetics, which is the study of people arguing for the faith using reasoning. And recently, I actually came across my favorite argument, which was prove to me that you exist.
Okay.
So what they did was they shift the goalpost. They said, let's leave talking about God. Prove to me that you exist.
Mm-hmm.
And so this guy was putting this proof thing or this hypothetical situation or scenario by saying, if an alien was to come here, how exactly would you go about proving to the alien? And we're saying, well, but you could point out to the fact that, I'm alive. Like you can see me. Just like, okay, but when you close your eyes, the person is no longer here. Does this mean they no longer exist? And this person continued and he was saying that, yeah, but I'm a human being. And just like, yeah, but that doesn't show me the difference between you and them. So you've shown me about humanity, but you have not shown me that you exist. And basically the argument or the thing that's being basically drawn in this example is that there's no proving unless there's an existence. Okay? True. So existence has to precede the proving.
Yes.
And what this guy was saying that there's no way to prove you because you precede existence. And it's that type of belief or that type of argument that we use when we talk about God. There's no earth unless there's God.
True.
Okay? He is the fabric of reality. So while you were saying that, I just thought, hey, actually, it's interesting that the kind of belief you have in your existence can be used as well in believing that God exists. Exactly. So I thought that was quite interesting.
Yes, and I love that. That's your first thought in the book. You're not just throwing around ideas and asking people to believe you, but first and foremost, you are pointing us towards God to say that everything that I'm going to say after this, this is the anchor, this is the foundation, this is the fabric, here's the material. I love that. But also, the one thing that I recognized while reading your book was that your book is deeply theological. But it is relatable as well in terms of language. And I love that because I think that people are afraid of reading theological books because they are afraid that they won't really understand it simply. But what you were able to do was you were able to bring deep theological facts with everyday simple language.
Oh, I'm not sure if questions are going to be asked here because this is so nice. Like you tapping into my mind.
Yeah.
My mission in life is to move away from having superficial theology. By the way, guys, we're going to speak English today. So, yeah, if needs be, please have your phones ready to Google words.
Please.
I really want us to refrain from having superficial language. And I think it also comes from the society that I guess I grew up in, where we talk about the gospel, and here you are telling a person about God's love, but I'm hungry. I mean, how does God's love have to help me in this case? How do I practicalize God's love?
Yeah.
How do I put God's love in my everyday? So I think for me, and you know how I mentioned how I studied philosophy and then I went to apologetics. And at some point, I thought I was going to be a lecturer because I thought, I mean, I got to get paid. So, but I ended up, and this is something I think is quite unique to me. I ended up saying, you know, how I'm actually going to pursue my calling or my career, however you want to put it, is that I'm going to fuse life coaching, philosophy, and theology. And I think this is actually the best place to start because even in the life coaching space, they say these things. They tell people that you are a God. It's just unfortunate that it becomes distorted because although I do believe that you are a God, you are not God. And there's a difference. If you remove the A, that's a totally different book. You're not reading my book.
Yeah.
So I think the life coaching space is really doing a disservice, but it's encouraging people. And so what I've realized that the epitome, the pinnacle of helping someone is by fixing their identity. And this is why this book is crucial.
And I love that. And we're going to get into that. I have a question that is prepared around identity. But see how I started by saying that I love your book because it's theological and understandable. But the irony is that when somebody reads this title, they're like, what is this guy talking about? Otini, right? So that's my first question, actually. And I want to ask it how I've written it down. So as we mentioned, and your dad also mentioned that, the title is quite bold, you know. So I just want to know, and I would like you to tell the people as well, what do you mean by this? The inauguration of a God.
All right, cool.
Yes.
Cool. I low-key have answered the question, but I think I'll get into depth.
Yeah.
So I just want to clarify. The word inauguration, when you Google it, you'll actually find it used most of the time describing when presidents come into power, when you get a degree or two, they inaugurate you.
Right.
So this is not that. This is not you know, being put into that. But it's you being exposed to the awareness of the God you've already been.
Yeah.
Okay? And I actually forgot to mention this while I was ministering, that my firm belief is that God does not speak to us in time. He doesn't say, Ulungisile Mtshweni, come here now. No.
Okay.
When he breathed into us, every conversation that he would ever had with you, it was in that it was in that breath. So what's happening is you are being exposed to the... Do you get what I'm saying?
I get that.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so when I talk about inauguration of a God, I'm getting people to get back to thinking from an eternal perspective, from that timelessness perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hey man, this is good. I bless me, yes guys. Oh.
I like that. And I like that. And my follow-up question to that is going to sound repetitive, right? But I want you to expand on that and perhaps use practical language as well, right?
Cool.
So what I'm hearing you say is this is more of a remembrance. We are not becoming somebody or something new. What does it look like here today? What does that look like? Remembering who we are and not necessarily becoming like new people.
First of all, I'm going to tell you a beautiful question, by the way. My goodness.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, I'm going to say this, that I don't think I can sufficiently answer that question. And this is why I would advise everyone to read their Bible.
Right.
Okay? Because what the Bible will do is it will remind you of the conversations you had with God before planet Earth. You will resonate from an eternal perspective. Hey, I'm thinking of going somewhere. Should I go there? I
Please
don't know.
go.
Yeah.
Please go. Take us there.
I remember there was a pastor who said that when and I see my friend is here, when John's mother met up with Jesus' mother, what happened was John leaped.
Yeah.
John leaped. You remember that? And then what happened is later on when he got older, John says, let's please go ask Jesus if that's still the Messiah. The very same John who leaped back then is now questioning, is that the Messiah?
Yeah.
And so what this pastor was saying, don't let your mind talk you out of your revelation. And now that I think about it, I think your revelation is way deeper than mind. No wonder eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, nor has it entered into the mind of man. There is a way to talk to God that supersedes mind, that supersedes communication. And I say it all the time, and I'm going to say it today, that the English language cannot capture properly what we mean when we say a relationship with God. Anyways, let me get back to your question. Yeah.
I love that.
What do we mean? Yes.
Yeah.
How does that look like? Well, I'll at least tell you for me, but I also laid down the foundation that I won't mention. It won't be sufficient. For me, in this season, it means fighting. In this season, it means fighting. It means going back to Pharaoh 10 times.
Yeah.
It means telling Nebuchadnezzar that I am more convinced of who he is than the fire you are putting here.
Yeah.
You know, it means not being scared of Goliath. I see everyone. You know what's interesting about David? Hey guys, my mind runs wild, and I'm glad you are singing this. You know what's interesting about David?
Yeah.
David was a young man, and he sees elders scared, but he excuses himself from that fear. And normally we are in a generation that says that you need to look at what other people are doing first before you do it.
Exactly.
But if that was the case, David would have not killed Goliath.
And he wouldn't have done what he has always known to be able to do.
Marawena, beautiful. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so this is what it means for me. It means fighting.
Yeah.
It means fighting. It means for those of you who don't know, it was a struggle writing this book.
Of course.
It was a struggle. I had to tell myself, hey, listen, at least spend 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes a day and work on this book, and now we have it. Yeah. So that's what it means, at least in this season.
Yeah.
It means fighting.
Because you understand that just because it's hard or sometimes you give up, it doesn't mean that it's not something God has not said about you. So it can't stop you because he said it. You are just, as you were saying, you are coming into it and you just have to focus.
You're unlocking something in me. As
Tell us about it.
I like what you said with the whole, just because it's hard doesn't mean it's God. Jesus sweats blood when dealing with God. And one pastor was saying, it was so much easier dealing with the devil.
Yeah.
He was saying when he dealt with the devil, he just said Matthew 4:4. He just quoted scripture and the devil went. And he said that when he was dealing with the devil, he had God. But when he was dealing with God, hey. He was dealing with God. When he was dealing with God, he was dealing with God. Yeah. And I think sometimes we tend to think that just because God wants us in it, it's going to be easy, it's going to be smooth. But
That's
God
so
is saying that
misleading.
my godness will be seen in your fight.
Exactly.
My godness will be seen in you. I know they excluded you in the school, but go back. They will see my God nature when you fight.
I love that. Because he says it in his word, right? He says that my strength is made what? Strong. Yeah, it's made perfect in our weakness. So we should want to be weak. Because when we are weak, then that's when God is going to show up. So we should want to be weak, actually. Yeah.
I'm so glad I chose you to
Thank you,
interview me.
thank
My
you.
goodness. This is nice. This is nice.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay. So you were talking about David, right? And you're saying that had David listened, and let's paint a picture for the people. The Israelites were camping, right? Ready to fight Goliath. But they were talking about it and discussing and worried. And so he just rocks up. He's probably like short, umtwana. And he's like, what has got you guys twisted? What's the actual problem here? And what I am seeing in my mind is if I got to that camp and I understood what the problem was, I would have been influenced by what I'm about to do next. But he was so secured, and I'm linking two questions now. But he was so secured in his identity and in who he knows God to be that he didn't allow, and I'm going to use your words, opinions of other people to cage him, right? And that's a chapter in your book. And that's the question that I'm bringing up now. Uguti, the syndrome of abantu Bazothini, right? How, and as Christians, we know that. It's not a new idea, right? And we like to be loud about it. It's, I'm a child of God. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. But we usually don't live it up to, like, in our actions, right? So I want to know that as a child of God, knowing this idea, right? How can we discern? Because you're saying we shouldn't allow people's opinions, people's fears, people's achievements, and people's just things to cage us into our next, to cage us into staying rooted in what God has said and all of these things. So my question is, how can someone discern which voices to honor and which ones to silence?
You know what happened while you were speaking?
Yeah.
It was almost as if I got the answer to the question before you even finished the question. Because your question is, how do we discern, okay, what action should take? I think you should check the origin of the confidence. If the confidence is in the degree, then it's a distorted confidence. Because divine confidence does not need a shared opinion. And this is why David was able to say, even if you guys are scared, I've got my confidence from divine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So this is why I think you should check the origin of isibindi sakho. Lesibindi usithathaphi. Yeah, I think I'm sorry for the audience in Germany.
Yes.
Where do you get this liver? Where do you get the audacity
True.
to go after this? Because if you are leveraging on any other thing than that which God has already put in you, which is himself, then you are already moving in error. If you are leveraging on, I love you guys, but if you are leveraging on your paycheck end of the month to do life and not God, then you are moving in error. If you are leveraging on education and not God, then you are moving in error. God has to be the foundation.
Right.
Ishma, this is nice. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I hear that. Okay. So,
Wait, can I just say this as well?
yes.
Can I just say this as well? This is how much you have to leverage on God. I'm a firm believer, Uguti. Every single day is actually waiting to see how you are going to God in that day. So you need to start the day by asking, how do I God today? You need to have a conversation, or else the day will God over you.
Yeah, because creation knows who made it.
Yeah.
So it's going to do what it knows to do.
Yeah. Unless you have a conversation with God when you wake up in the morning and ask Him, how do I God today? The day will God over you. Yeah.
I get that. And Godding is a term that you introduce in your book. And you are using it as a verb.
You read the book.
Yes, because somebody would think that it is a noun, right? Or a pronoun. Which one describes which? I don't know.
It's a noun, I think.
A noun,
Yeah.
yes. So one would think it's a noun, right? But you are describing it as a verb in your book. And the main idea in you introducing that term is you are about to introduce the idea of identity, right? So my question on identity is that, so let me lay the foundation. In the introduction of you talking about identity, you were also talking to us about the enemy's whispers, right? You call it the whisper call from the enemy. And the core scripture in that chapter is Matthew 4, when Jesus was tempted by the enemy after his fast, right? So I want to know, and I want you to let the people know as well, that how do these whispers usually disguise themselves in everyday life, right? And what enables a person to actually walk in victory over the whispers of the enemy? And I know that you describe it in your book, but I want you to kind of talk to us about that in understandable language today.
I think the enemy loves shortcuts. Yeah.
Yes.
He loves shortcuts. He says, don't finish the fasting. Just turn these stones into bread. He says, I can give you all these kingdoms. You don't have to go to the cross.
Yeah.
Just give me a mere simple bow down. So I think what the enemy basically aims for is to get you to do it in a way that's different from how God wants you to do it.
Yeah.
He wants you to find the shorter route. He wants you to find the route that won't make you sweat blood. And this is why you better be careful, because sometimes the devil specializes in comfort.
He does. But is he banking on you not knowing who you are? Is he banking on you not knowing your identity?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That is a. In fact, I'm a firm believer that yes, and actually when you read the book, one of the things I mentioned is that when Jesus was dealing with the enemy, he was not dealing for his identity, but he was dealing from his identity. And this is why one of the things he does when he's doing the temptation, he wants to confuse Jesus to not think that he is the Son of God, because he says, if you are the Son of God. But check what happens right before the scripture, right before Matthew 4. God says that this is my son.
In whom I'm well pleased.
And so he has a preference. You see, and I'm a firm believer. If you don't know who you are in God, you're not even a threat. He won't even waste his time.
True. Okay. So are you saying then that victory is more is victory more about resisting sin or more about recognizing identity first?
Yeah. Uzosluisa nabantu abadala. That is a very controversial question.
I know.
That is a very controversial question. And I'm a firm believer that when you truly understand who you are, resisting sin becomes way easier. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When you truly, in fact, you don't have time to sin. You feel like sin is a waste of time. We've got books to write.
Yeah. I love that because in the book you are saying that temptations, all they do for you is to make you waste divine energy and power.
Yes.
Yeah, boss. So I love that because we don't have time to sin because we understand who we are, and we don't have time to waste divine intervention, divine energy, divine power.
You know, I remember one day, I'll never forget this day. We were at a youth service at our church, and excuse the language, but we were talking about sexual things.
Yeah.
And I told my dad about it, and he was very disappointed. And I was just like, but these are issues that must be addressed in the community. And he said to me, why are you not addressing heavenly things? why are you not talking kingdom things?
Yeah.
Because the more you talk kingdom things, the less time you will have for other things.
That is so true.
You get what I'm saying? And so I think at times we think we are solving the problem by discussing the problem. Yeah.
And we're not.
We're finding ways to discuss the problem.
Yeah.
We're finding ways to meditate on the problem. Instead of finding ways to find to work on solutions, because we're not discovering solutions. They've been deposited in us.
We already have them.
We already have them. The inauguration of the solution, the conversation is in you already. So it's not about discussing the problem. It's about discovering the solution already. So that's the chat I think we need to have. And I think this is what the book actually is about as well. Yeah.
Yeah, as well. Okay.
Oh, can I just say this as well? This is why, personally, I don't like it when people bring me problems. My team knows at the back. I don't like problems. When you come to me with a problem, you must tell me, at least think of it, at least see a solution. That's at least see, don't bring problems only. At least see, suggest something. Don't just meditate on problems.
And when we shift our mindset to that, it's again Godding. Because there's not even one problem that God brought and he didn't have a solution for.
Can I just say this actually? There's so much of the will to do than problems to sort out. In the Garden of Eden, there was only one problem. Don't eat. There were many trees they could eat from. So there's so much of the will that we can express. Adam and Eve could have been eating bananas. They could have been eating watermelons. But they decided to just focus on the one problem. Don't eat this one. Yeah. And this is why I'm saying that there's actually so much, there's so much work to do than there are the problems. And the more we do the work, the less the problems will be.
Shrink.
Because
so
we don't have time for the problem.
That is so good. Focusing on the problem magnifies it.
Exactly.
Okay. Exactly. Thank you.
I want to close with this quote before you clap your hands, Mgana.
Yes.
I want to close with this quote. Well, I'm not sure if I'm closing, but I just want to say this. There's one pastor who said this, that stop telling God about the mountain. Start telling the mountain about God.
Yeah.
And the reason this pastor was saying this is because you can only tell the mountain about God once you've spent so much time with God to know how big God is. Because if you don't spend time with God, you will be threatened by the mountain. But if you know how big your God is, you will tell the mountain. Yeah. And I said this on the pod and I'll say it again. If you don't talk to the mountain and let it use its ears, you'll be using your ears to listen to what the mountain has to say. Yeah. Today, go home. Take that bill that SARS is saying you owe them, put it here and tell it, SARS, Baba, you listen, I have a God.
Yeah.
Does that make, I got that from my dad, yes.
Yeah.
If you don't use your mouth and tell the mountain and let the mountain use its ears, you'll be using your ears to listen to what the mountain has to say.
And Jesus said, talk to the mountain and tell it to move. Yeah. He didn't say speak. Yeah. You know, he said tell it what to do.
Yeah, it's waiting for you.
Yeah, it's waiting for you. Tell it what to do.
The problems are problems because we're not talking. We are silent. We are not talking to them. They are waiting for. They are waiting to use their ears. Creation is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. I've got scripture in me. Thank you, Pops.
I love that, and thank you so much. And I'm so grateful to God that He allowed you to write this book, and I'm so grateful to God for your obedience. I love that you know that obedience is better than sacrifice. The many will that you're talking about, I love that you are able to lay it down and say, I know I can sacrifice, God, I can do all these things for you, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to obey. And I'm grateful for that.
Can I just say this to someone as well?
Yeah.
That sometimes obeying God, I think sometimes we think obeying God is starting a church. Sometimes it's obeying Him and writing the book 15 minutes a day.
Exactly.
Sometimes obeying God means, right, just 15 minutes. Your obedience for that day is 15 minutes, just write the book. So sometimes it's just the simple things that, basically is how we obey God.
Yes.
I just wanted to say that for someone.
Thank you. I want to use this 1 minute that I have remaining to take maybe a question from the audience, and we can close with that. I don't know if anybody in the audience has any question concerning what we have spoken about, or if you have read the book, anything on the book. Thank you.
So sweet.
So we had discussed like some of the questions that we want to ask.
Oh, okay.
Sanbonani.
Yeah,
So my question is very simple. If somebody reads the book and they feel a bit disconnected, what is the one thing that you hope they take from the book?
Okay. It is to detach yourself from rooting your identity in the things of this world. I know sometimes to a lot of people it looks like I just don't care, but I don't think that's the case. I think I'm too rooted in God to care about things that I don't have control over. Okay? And I think even the last chapter of the book, that chapter actually feels a little bit disconnected. But I'm hoping if you read that chapter, you can actually do the challenge there. There's a challenge there called the Feel God First Challenge. And so what happens with the Feel God First Challenge is that one reprograms their mind so that they feel God first, because our emotions are technically taught to us. Today does not have emotions in and of itself, but my interpretation to today births emotions in me. And so I'm hoping that when someone reads this book, one of the things that will happen from them is that they'll feel God first. Everything will be God. Literally everything will be God. The decisions they make, it will be God first. They will be walking in their divine nature. They will be Godding. They will be Godding. So I hope I answered your question. I hope. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful question, by the way. Can we please give a round of applause? Yeah.
Yo, Sanbran, man.
Kabela.
Ish. Yo, it's so sad that you answered almost all of my questions.
He does that. He does
It's
this.
very, very, very sad. But I would like to say, in 10 years from now, what value do you see the book making? Or
Yeah.
in 10 years from now, like where do you see the book at?
Yeah. I see a movie for it. I can tell you that much. I see a movie for it. But why not? Why not? Let me see it. I'm seeing something in me. Is it fine if I just see it? Let me just say it because I'm seeing it.
Yeah, you're seeing it.
Let's have this book in the curriculum.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have this book in the curriculum, in the educational curriculum.
Amen.
Because like I said, how best do we prepare people in life than to tell them that they were made in the image of God? Do you know, if I knew when I was going to varsity that I was made in the image of God, how better my life would be? Do you know it prepares you for everything. Being made in the image of God, it prepares you for everything. Marriage, school, work, business. There's nothing that the image of God lives out in terms of your daily life. So why not add it in the curriculum?
Why
I
not?
see it. I see
Amen.
it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful question.
Yes. All right. That brings us to the end of this beautiful session. Thank you so much for coming into your own podcast. Yes, you came. Thank you. Yes, but thank you for having us, and thank you for writing this book. And this book is available to purchase today.
Yes.
Ne? And he will sign it today, which is what we are leading into now when we move from here.
Yes. Let me just say this as well. The book is available on Amazon. It is available on Bookstore as well. The hardcover is available on Amazon. Okay. So if you're having a tough time, just Google me. I am very Googleable. Hey, I love that. Literally, if you type my name out on Google, it should take you to ulungisilemtshweni.com. And then when you scroll down, you'll see the book, the book cover. Just click on it and it'll take you to the Amazon. One more thing I want to say is that today I will be signing books. I just forgot the pen. There's a pen I'm going to use. Once the ink finishes, and this is for everyone who's going to buy the book, I'm going to use that pen. I'm no longer signing books. So meaning I'm calling you, I'm inviting you into creating limited editions together, which would be the books that we sign. Yeah,
Yes.
this is so cool.
It
man.
is so cool.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
This is how I normally say goodbye on Wisdom Podcast.
Yes.
Peace. Weebies. Oh.